Well, because as a child, I called it, when I saw Danny Kaye, see, I was a funny kid. I was a mimic and I was a funny kid. And I knew I could be like a comedian kid. But I saw Danny Kaye do these things, and he was basically a comedian. But he was an actor. He was in the category, in my mind, of actor. So I thought, well, that's what I want to be. I'm going to be an actor. Here's how I'll do it. I'll be in radio first, because there's no audience present. They're away from you, they're apart from you, so you don't have to get embarrassed, you don't have to get nervous. And then after, if I'm good enough in radio, I'll become a comedian in nightclubs. And if I'm good enough at that, they'll have to let me in the movies and be an actor. Well, that was my childhood plan and my dream. And so when I found out I really wasn't much of an actor, my first experiences with it were horrible. I really didn't have a right to be on there acting. I thought it was my birthright. I thought I'd just step right into that. That'll be easy, you know. But they said, don't stand in her light. They're telling me things like, don't stand in Marlo Thomas's light. And then they're saying, don't forget what's going on in your mind, and the phone is ringing, and your lover's in the other room, and all this shit and everything. I can barely remember the lines. So I said, I don't do this. This is not for me. Later on, I did acting parts, and some of them were more well-suited to me, some weren't. It was fun, but you know what? Big waste of time. It's a collaborative art. I found out I'm a soloist. I had to finally say I'm not an actor. I don't want to sit in a trailer and wait for them to get the set done the way they want, and then I come out and we do a run through and they change the lights and you go back and everything, and I could be doing something productive in that time. So that, by the way, that poem, I'm a modern man, a man for the millennium, that was written during Jersey Girl in the trailer, because I finally had a laptop. But acting is fine. If I had been a teenage child if I hadn't been rejected at the New York School of Performing Arts, which I applied to, and they said, well, you'll have to start high school over. I quit school, I went down there, I'm funny, I'm an actor. And they said, well, have you had fencing? Have you had speech? Have you had movement? I'm thinking, and they said, no. I said, well, you'll have to start high school over, but you'll have to pass an audition. And I said, okay, cool. I quit school altogether, then went in the Air Force. But if I had been accepted and I'd learned to act at a young age, and I could have made a real technical career out of it and done all the repertoire, all the classics, and learned and had great teachers and great experiences, I could have been something of an actor, but I never had that. I had no technique to fall back on. I had no training of any kind. So it wasn't for me, and I found I was better at this other thing. The stage 2 was the best one for me, comic, comedian.